Welcome to the Tombolo Multicultural Variety Show Season 3. I'm your host, Michelle Debnath Canning. This season, we will be covering 6 ethnocultural communities that play a prominent role in the province. We want to learn about what they are doing, their culture, and the programs they have supported in their communities to integrate and enrich our beloved province. So, let's get this show started. Welcome back to Tombolo Multicultural Variety Show. I'm your host, Michelle Debnath Canning, and sitting here with us today is a very special guest, Bruce from the Ukrainian National Federation of Canada. Bruce, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the organization that you're representing today?
Sure. Bruce Lilly. I'm originally from Saskatchewan. About roughly 20 years ago, I moved to Newfoundland. But in Saskatchewan, I went to Ukrainian school, did Ukrainian dancing and all that kind of fun stuff. And when we got to Newfoundland, there was no Ukrainian organized diaspora. There was still some people from Ukraine, let's say, but there was no organized diaspora, which was a point of slight contention, personal contention. You go, oh, we should try to organize something. But it came to a head with the full-scale invasion of Ukraine when the Newfoundland government took a really supportive stance, and there began to become many Ukrainians who came to Newfoundland without a landing pad, like cultural community landing pad. So that was where the development of the organizations began. So that's a long way of saying I'm part of the Ukrainian National Federation of Canada Avalon branch. And so we provide culture and community events and programming, but also we have a settlement kind of arm that helps things like English learning, entrepreneurship, employment services.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there was a Ukrainian school in Saskatchewan. So the Ukrainian community has been established in Canada for quite a while then, right?
Yeah.
So these schools were the norm, maybe in Western Canada. Is there anything like that here in Eastern Canada that you know of as well?
No, for context, I think that prior to 2022, there was about 1.3 million Ukrainian people of Ukrainian descent, let's say, in Canada. And in Newfoundland, there was maybe 1,100 people who would say, oh, I've got a grandparent from Ukraine, but there was really no cultural infrastructure in Newfoundland, no.
One thing you did mention that I don't know if all Newfoundlanders kind of think about this is the fact that Ukrainians have been here for multiple generations, because a lot of times you correlated with just the refugee group that's been coming in. But you're looking at multiple generations that have established themselves in Newfoundland and Labrador already. So that was 1,100. So now if you're looking at the demographic and population, how many Ukrainians do you think is in the province?
So
on estimate, maybe.
So if you take that 1,100, let's say, and then you take the government's estimate of between 4,300 and 4,500 within the last 3 years, and then apparently the retention rate so far is about 85%. So you're looking at, probably over 5,000 at least.
Yeah. Are they spread out in the Avalon area, or are they kind of?
There's, like most, say, populations, there's a larger percentage in St. John's and surrounding area. There's a contingent in Corner Brook. There's some in Labrador. And then they're kind of dotted throughout,
Now, Bruce, you were telling us about some of the notable characters. Could we expand on that to talk about some of the artists and maybe some entrepreneurs that are from the Ukrainian community that are living here now?
Yeah, of course. So when I think of art, I also think of broadcasting, I think of getting messages out there, storytellers. And one is Maria Kavatsiak. So she came from Ukraine a couple of years ago, and she's now working as a reporter at NTV, which is really cool.
It is. What a progression too, hey?
Oh, to be able to get a reporting spot at a broadcast spot, that's like a highly sought after. So it just shows there's a caliber that's coming of competency,
Yes.
And then there's Anastasia and Natalia Bortsova, who they both have a weekly radio show at CHMR, which is really cool. And they talk about current events, and they talk about Canadian news and Ukrainian news. And there's also a lady named Katrina Gavrilyuk who does a show on CHMR as well. And she does interviews with interesting and notable people as well. So and talks about Ukrainian and Canadian dynamics.
Nice. Yeah. And what about in the music sector with dance and performances and things like that as well?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. So I mentioned Brian Cherwick. So he's part of a band which is his family, and a couple of others named the Kubasonics, which they play everywhere, and you should definitely see them if they're here. There's Dolia Ukrainian dance, which is kind of a mix of traditional and slightly sometimes modern Ukrainian dancing, and they were the first Ukrainian dance group in Newfoundland and Labrador. So then there's Hannah Force, she was classically trained in something like monumental art, so painting the insides of churches, when you walk into a Catholic church and there's all these ornate depictions.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but she's also a wealth of Ukrainian cultural heritage knowledge. So she runs a whole bunch of UNF Avalon's cultural workshops. I think she did one with a Multicultural Women's Organization, Newfoundland and Labrador. Yeah. And but she's also a talented artist. There's also Lou Sakno, who is also a very talented artist has pictures that are up on in City Hall of St. John's.
Wow. Yeah. It's interesting to see just how they've come from all these different places, even other parts of Canada, really. I mean, we have this conception that it might be just from Ukraine, but you've got multiple generations and they're establishing themselves and sharing their arts and cultures in such an interesting way that Newfoundland and Labradorians and other locals and other cultures are able to kind of, experience that in a really interesting manner. So it's great to hear about that.
Actually, that's kind of like we did something with the rooms where there was this similarity that's found between mummering. So one cultural, let's say, carrier in Newfoundland is mummering. And then there's something called vertep in Ukraine, which has some similarities to it. So we did a project with them where we married the two, and we had a whole bunch of, then you get lots of Newfoundlanders come out of all stripes, and Ukrainians are curious, saying, what's going on here, right? And it was really popular and lots of fun.
That's fun. It's a nice way to combine this all as well, because you're coming here and it's a level of integration, but also introducing some new flavors in as well.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a number of interesting people, and I would say successful and innovative businesses that are ran by Ukrainians in Newfoundland. So one of the people, if you've probably never heard of her, but her name is Marina Sikorska, and she's a health navigator for the government of Newfoundland and Labrador. She came here as a Ukrainian family physician who ran her own practice. She had doctors working for her. She had opened it up herself, and now she helps other medical professional immigrants go through the system of getting certified in some way in the medical profession.
That's great. It's a way of kind of giving back based on the struggles that she herself probably had to face when she came into this province as well.
And is likely, I don't know where she's at with, because going through the College of Physicians is no joke, you got to make sure you go through, so I don't know the details of that, but she's been a really big help for a lot of people.
And what about in terms of food vendors or other businesses that are present from the Ukraine community here?
Oh yeah, well the first one that jumps out to me, just because they have the spot at the Village Mall, is Smaczno UA. And they're delicious. You can get, varenika, you get a whole bunch of food from there,
Okay.
Tombolo Multicultural Festival and We Care Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador provide economic, social, and cultural empowerment and integration programs and services to newcomers, immigrants, refugees, and the racialized. Sewing classes, cooking classes, entrepreneurship skill training, arts and craft classes, music and dance classes, employment skills training, provide hot meals, food hampers, gift cards, and food vouchers to those facing food insecurity. Affordable housing, offer counseling support for victims of gender-based violence, award scholarships, donate home furniture to newcomers. Contact now at tombolofestivalnl@gmail.com.
Welcome back to Tombolo Multicultural Variety Show. I'm your host, Michelle Debnath Canning, and sitting here with us today is a very special guest from the Ukrainian community here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Could you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're originally coming in from?
Sure. My name is Maria Kavatuk, and I'm originally from Ukraine, from Kolomea, a beautiful town in western Ukraine.
Oh, wow. And what brought you to Newfoundland and Labrador?
Not really nice circumstances, unfortunately. In 2022, when the full-scale invasion of Ukraine started, when Russia invaded Ukraine, me as million other Ukrainians were looking for safety and stability.
So could you tell us a little bit about your professional life here in Newfoundland and Labrador?
Yes, sure. I will start with my degree. So I have 2 master's degrees. The first one is international relations and another one is accounting and taxing. So I had an opportunity to work a bit as a TV presenter in Europe, in Warsaw. So when I moved to Newfoundland and Labrador, I shared the information about me and my husband. We were looking just for it didn't matter at that point for us where we'll be working. We were looking just for something because we wanted to be useful for the community, local community, and to be a part of community right away. So when I shared the information about me and my husband on Facebook, it was just simple Facebook post. A lot of people reached out to me, and one of the people who reached out to me was my colleague now, Bailey Howard. She's a reporter at NTV News. So I've been working with NTV for more than 3 years now as a TV reporter, also as a social media content creator and as a production assistant.
And what an accomplishment also. You know, think about it. You've got these credentials and from another country, you were able to come here, do your effective outreaching, by the way, because you just said, hey, I've got these skills. Please share this amongst this community. And you have utilized your talents exactly the way that you wanted to. So that's a huge accomplishment.
Absolutely. I never expected I'll have such an opportunity, and it's been a huge gift to me, and to be able to continue what I love, to do what I love, right?
That's fantastic. And of course, people can tune in to see you on NTV, right? Is there a specific segment that they can tune in to see you at?
So how it started, I started just talking about Ukrainian families and individuals who moved to Newfoundland and Labrador, as Ukrainians are new immigrants to Newfoundland and Labrador, right? And the main idea was to represent Ukrainians as a new community and to tell about stories that some individuals brought to Newfoundland and Labrador, about some difficulties some individuals faced, and that was the main idea. And then it converted into something bigger and bigger. So I started cover not just Ukrainian stories, stories about Ukrainians. Also, I talk about what is happening in local community as well. And yes, it is possible to tune into NTV Evening News Hour and NTV First Edition, and at 5:30 and 6 p.m. and to see me on the news. And yes, and also I do, as I mentioned previously, I do have some other responsibilities. I create social media content for NTV, for multiple media platforms as TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads. Yes, I think it's
You've covered it all.
Yes. And another thing that I do at NTV is production assistance, and I also take part in that part of creating content for NTV.
And what a power too, hey, because like you said, you're representing the Ukrainian community, but you're giving it voice and you're giving it from the Ukrainian perspective as well. So I think that's wonderful. So your community actually leader recommended you as one of the prominent people from the Ukrainian community, and that is why we're here interviewing you today. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do to help the members of your community? And like you highlighted, you interview them in your NTV News. What are some other roles you play as well?
When I was given the chance to be a part of NTV, to have a voice on TV and to have an opportunity to bring some stories to local community, to people who, as I mentioned, open their homes, hearts, and gave so much support to Ukrainians. I really wanted to represent Ukrainians and to tell a little bit about Ukrainian community, about Ukrainian individuals who started new businesses, who started who just faced something really hard in their lives and needed support. The most important thing for me was to make sure everybody will remember about Ukraine and about what is happening in Ukraine. Also, one of the goals was to kind of build a bridge between Ukrainians and Newfoundlanders and Labradorians to make sure that local community will know a bit more about people who arrived and started a new life here.
Thank you so much for your time.
Tombolo Multicultural Festival and We Care Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador provide economic, social, and cultural empowerment and integration programs and services to newcomers, immigrants, refugees, and the racialized. Sewing classes, cooking classes, entrepreneurship skill training, arts and craft classes, music and dance classes, employment skills training, provide hot meals, food hampers, gift cards, and food vouchers to those facing food insecurity. Affordable housing, offer counseling support for victims of gender-based violence, award scholarships, donate home furniture to newcomers. Contact now at tombolofestivalnl@gmail.com.
So tell us a bit more about the organization. So if someone coming in from other parts of Canada who are Ukrainian origin or directly from Ukraine are coming into Newfoundland and Labrador, how does your organization help with the settlement aspect, or what area or other organizations do they refer to?
Right. Yeah. So we try to work with all of the settlement organizations, let's say, so, like ANC, AMAL, and there's I think there's 57 groups who get some type of funding from this Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism. Yeah. And as many as we can talk to and kind of refer when needed, we do. But if somebody's coming from Ukraine or if somebody's thinking of coming to Newfoundland, they usually get referred to us. And then as a first step, we talk with them. We say, okay, so here's... you're coming to Newfoundland, what state are you coming in? So are you coming, and earlier on, more often you'd have somebody coming with a backpack, and they just had a backpack and they had a kid, and their partner had to stay, and they needed like the really first order settlement services. And that was where we'd go, okay, you need to talk to the ANC, because they had the hotel, let's say, right?
Yes, yeah.
Now you get people who either are coming or have been here for a little while, and they're saying, okay, I need some help with employment, and maybe I need some help with employment, but I need to learn English first, so I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball. So we've got English programs. We have an employment and entrepreneurship facilitator who helps them walk through other programs. So if you're an entrepreneur, let's say, a lot of people might not know, but there's an entrepreneurial, it's like a business facilitator that you can call that's actually funded by the government. It's not for Ukrainians, it's anybody.
Okay, yeah.
But almost nobody knew about it. So we like to try to get people, because the more services, more different groups they reach out to, I feel like as long as the continuity of communication and services there, they can start to be integrated, say, okay, there's a friendly place, not a stranger in a strange land, there's people, who are here. But another aspect is we talk to them, we say, so what do you like to do, right? Like, what kind of activities are you? I mean, do you play sports? Do you like arts and crafts, And then we try to say, hey, we've got something on Thursdays that we do. Or we know of something on Saturdays. Or if they're particularly entrepreneurial minded, we say, that's a good idea, we don't have that. Would you want to start something, and maybe have a group of other people who are interested in it?
Yeah.
And that, I think, and it's borne out, I think, in data where people who are feeling in a helpless situation, if you actually give them responsibility and you allow them to self-direct it, they blossom because they're saying, I don't feel useless anymore. I don't feel totally confused. I'm in an area of competence where I where I can really show and share, and now I'm giving to people. And so that's a big part of it too, the cultural and community component.
Right, and if you're thinking about reducing social isolation too, that
Totally.
really helps with the retention strategy as well for this province when it
yeah.
comes to newcomers, right? And you've got this organization established, ready to get them involved, giving them a purpose, helping them connect with settlement services. So it sounds like your organization itself is quite well established. Tell us about some of the governance and the operational work that you do as well.
So in terms of governance, we have a board of directors, and we are a branch of Ukrainian National Federation Canada. And that has been around since the early 30s, but it has about 16 branches across Canada. So it allows the operational team, if they're wanting to try something new that might have been tried, say in Saskatoon or in BC, they can actually reach out to the branches,
Right.
So it's a really beneficial corporate structure, I would say, because you've got these well-established groups, but Newfoundland, although it's had Ukrainian immigrants in it, there hasn't been community cultural infrastructure that existed in the community of the Ukrainian sphere, let's say.
Right.
So it's almost like 100 years where, say, Saskatoon was in 1930s, in terms of cultural infrastructure. That's where Newfoundland was starting a few years ago, right?
Right.
But now we're being looked at by other branches and they're going, oh my gosh, okay, so you're doing this with partnership with the library. We never thought of that, right? So it's actually a benefit to be new because we're more agile. There's no gatekeeping because we're all just trying to figure out what's going on and how do we want to shape ourselves. There's no, we've been like this for 80 years and you got to step in line.
Yeah.
Which is also very welcoming for people who are new to the diaspora, because technically everybody's new to the diaspora.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about some of the operations, maybe some of the activities that you've got going on with the province now.
oh yeah, sure. So we do weekly meetings, so we advertise and help facilitate the meetings that the government has been doing to help Ukrainians who are looking for answers to their, say, work permit questions and this kind of thing. We've got English classes that we put on. We have a Ukrainian summer camp that we do every year.
Is that a new initiative or has that been going on for a while?
That's been going on since 2023.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's been, and we always get a whole bunch of kids. We have a whole bunch of fun. And then we've got a place called the Ridna Shkola, which is roughly translates to culture school, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's from 9:30 till about 1 p.m. every Saturday. And so you get a whole bunch of kids in a room and you've got a number of instructors and they help because there's kind of two sides to the integration piece. So you go, okay, we're coming here, we're integrating, we're learning how everything, takes place. But if you have a young child, you might start to dislike the idea of them forgetting their language, right? Their first language, or about their culture, never learning about their culture, right?
Yeah.
So this is a space for that to happen, but also the integration piece. So we bring in, firefighters or police people or, other people from the community and introduce the kids to them.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've found a nice balance from this federation as well, because you're introducing the norms of this country, but you're holding on to all these beautiful and beneficial, I guess, traditional values or traditional cultural things from your pieces. And when you introduce it to a new generation, they're able to find that balance and take it forward as well. So
Totally.
that's a great balance there.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because you get people from different parts of Ukraine and there's like the same rural city divide, or, if you're over here, you might be more traditional. Over here, you're more modern. And so people who are from Ukraine, I've heard, have come to, say, Newfoundland, and then they learn about Ukrainian culture from Newfoundland, from an island in the middle of the Atlantic so it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where can people find more information about your organization? What's your social media handle, website, things like that?
Well, anything that says UNF Avalon, so unfavalon.ca. On Facebook, it's UNF Avalon. On any of the other ones, it's UNF Avalon. On Telegram, I think it's UNF Avalon NL.
Bruce, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, that's it today, folks. So join us next time with the Tombolo Multicultural Variety Show, where we interview another special guest.
Tombolo Multicultural Festival and We Care Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador provide economic, social, and cultural empowerment and integration programs and services to newcomers, immigrants, refugees, and the racialized. Sewing classes, cooking classes, entrepreneurship skill training, arts and craft classes, music and dance classes, employment skills training, provide hot meals, food hampers, gift cards, and food vouchers to those facing food insecurity. Affordable housing, offer counseling support for victims of gender-based violence, award scholarships, donate home furniture to newcomers. Contact now at tombolofestivalnl@gmail.com.
Thank you for joining us. Join us next time as we explore another organization and community in the province. I'm your host, Michelle Debnat Canning. See you next time.